We're up and running. Let's give a round of applause to Katie. Katie, who's here specifically to get the good thing going. Yay, Katie. Thank you, APR, for being here. Thank you, Cheryl, for bringing all the refreshments and giveaways over there. Love swag, love balls, love bottles. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it over to Rachel now, who's going to do a balance presentation. Yes. Excellent.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry for the technical delays, but thank you again, Katie, for getting this going. I'm Rachel. I'm here from APR Physical Therapy. We have 2 locations. One is down the street in Westwood, and the other is down the street in Foxborough. And I'll get a little bit more into the company and what we can do, but today we are here to talk about balance, something that everyone is concerned with. Am I right? Yeah. All right. Yes. Okay. This is what happens when you don't have balance. So a little bit about us and our company. Our owner, Dave Fleischman, began the company back in 2017 in our Westwood location. It now has 2 offices, the second one being located at 9 Payson Road in Foxborough, which I feel is pretty close to here. Okay, beautiful. We are a concierge practice, which means that if you have a problem, you call us and we will do everything that we can to just get you going. Your biggest issue is making that first phone call to us. We'll take it from there for you. Okay, beautiful. In our Foxborough location, we have just acquired a HydroWorks pool. So this is an underwater treadmill in a pool. It is fantastically warm, about 92 degrees. We can do different resistance exercises, a lot of balance work in the pool for anyone that's scared of falling. Water's a lot safer to fall in than the floor, right? And it is absolutely wonderful. The jets themselves, you can see how much power they have to help your muscles relax in that warm environment. And there's different resisted exercises that we can do that'll both challenge your balance as well as your muscles to help you get stronger without so much pressure on your joints, which is beautiful. And this again is only in Foxborough, unfortunately. I'm fighting for one in Westwood, so let me know if we can. And again, a little bit about more of the pool. There's water in it, as you can see. There we go. So this is the facility right here. Beautifully designed, super clean, super new. And again, if you need us, this is what you would be looking at. This does not like me. Okay. Today we are here to talk about balance. We're learning what contributes to our balance, understanding the benefits of exercises, and learning some basic exercises for you to do at home, okay? So by the end of the day, this is what I've hoped to translate over to you guys. Now, what is balance? Balance is the body's ability to remain steady when you're standing up. Our bodies keep us from falling over by using the messages from our eyes, our ears, all that fun stuff. So pretty much balance, there's a few different types. Right now, I'm standing up straight. This is a static balance. My body knows where I am in space. My head is parallel to the ground. I am very secure on my feet. Dynamic balance is anytime we go to make a movement. We now have to translate that balance from being up steady to remaining upright as we move. Those are the 2 different types. Our body realizes where we are in space through 3 different inputs: our eyes, our ears, and our vestibular system, and our feet. Now, I don't know about you, but I know as I'm getting older, my eyes are not what they used to be, right? So when we think about when are we more likely to fall, it's more likely if it's a dark environment, maybe if it's raining or wet outside and you can't really see as well. It's a common fall occurrence. Same with our feet. I don't know if anyone here has neuropathy or knows someone that does. Yep. So the input from our feet also gives us feedback to what is steady. And when we have conditions that affect our sensations in our feet, that impacts directly our balance. Our vestibular system, which is our inner ear, it's a little bit trickier. This is more when we talk about vertigo, ear infections, things like that, things that get your ears clogged, and your head doesn't really recognize when it's upright, which can throw your balance off as well. So those are the 3 components to balance that we really look at. This is just a photo of the inner ear and the crystals. When someone they have vertigo, if they say they have BPPV, it's the little crystals in the ear that kind of escape. And there's a certain movement that you can do to get them back into the ear to help, which is something that we do with our vertigo patients. And then we have to teach your body to recognize upright, steady. And from there, we'd go to upright, moving. Make sense so far? Okay. All right. Pause me at any point for questions. Love the questions. Factors that affect our balance. Medication, our vision, clearly, we just talked about that. Lightheadedness from low blood pressure or drowsiness. These are 3 factors, like I said, in the morning. Coming out of bed, we're more likely to have a trip and fall. Little animals around, things of that nature. Ear infections, we spoke about that. Loss of flexibility. This is a big one that physical therapy really helps with. When we are able to move, our body is able to recognize, okay, I'm steady, I'm balanced. Now, if we are not moving as smooth as we think we can, we're going to go to reach for something and then we could fall over. And that's not a position we want to be. So flexibility, making sure our joints can move to the furthest that they can safely, recognizing when your head is upright, is an important component to maintain balance, especially if you have grandkids. Right? They're not really predictable where they're going to go. And if you're trying to chase them around, you need to be steady on your feet. Neuropathy in the lower extremities, talked about that. Endurance fatigue and loss of strength. 2 other components. When you get tired, no one goes, I am so tired. My balance is so good right now. Right? At the end of the day, that's not when we're our safest. So getting the endurance to do everything that you want to do for prolonged periods of time will help decrease your risk of falls. Same thing with the strength. Coming up the stairs, making sure we use our muscles, coming down the stairs especially, or if there's not even a handrail, making sure you can count on the muscular strength in your legs not to give out on you to fall will help prevent fall risk. Makes sense so far? Beautiful. Moving on. Okay, how does physical therapy help? By addressing everything I just said. So, increases overall flexibility with different stretching exercises. And everyone is individual. Some people might have tight hamstrings. Some people might have tight shoulders, tight hips. Our idea is to make sure we develop a program that's good for you to address your certain issues. Everything we'll do today is a basic overview, but everyone is individual. So not everything fits for everyone, and some people benefit from other things. Keep that in mind. Increases your cardio endurance with exercises, growth strength, and we do treat vertigo. Beautiful. Okay, some of our exercises we're going to start talking about. Oh, this is our Katie. Beautiful. Going into the different types of balance, static and dynamic. Anytime we're talking and addressing balance issues, we want to see how good you are in a sitting or standing position first, right? This is the easiest part of balance, is standing up. Or technically sitting down, but standing up. We would begin to challenge our balance in very easy ways to start and then progress from there. So right now, everyone has a wonderful sitting balance, right? Everyone feels pretty secure in their seat. Do me a favor. Take one of your hands, don't hit anyone, please, and reach forward as far as you think you can. Now, who feels a little bit off balance? Some people aren't going as far as others. Some people might worry about falling out of the chair, right? That's your area. Let's call that your happy circle. That's your area of support. This is as far as you can go safely. Now, again, flexibility. When you're younger, you have more control over how far you can reach without falling over and maintaining that balance. As we age, that circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So learning where your outer limits of your balance are is important to know your capabilities at this time and where you'd like to move to. That would be a very basic. You guys are way beyond that. This is a good place to start with a tandem balance. So feel free to stand on up and join me. Yes, now. Okay. And we're going to start with our feet together. I never want anyone to challenge themselves beyond their capabilities either. So feel free to turn around and put a hand on a chair if you need to, whatever. Everyone feels pretty secure on their feet? Beautiful. What if we put our feet together? Are we still feeling secure? This is called a small center of balance. I forget the word for it. Small center of balance, we're going to call this. Now, spread your legs apart for a second. Now reach out to the side. Reach out to that side. Okay. We see how far we're going? Good. Put our feet together now. How far are we going now? Not very far. See the difference? This is learning where our feet are affect our balance. So the wider your stances, the more control you have over your body and your movements. The closer your feet are together, the more stable you need to be. Tandem balance is a way to challenge your balance standing up without very minimal risk to you, but it's an interesting way to find out which leg is stronger. So we're going to put one leg in front of the other if we can. Again, feel free to stand sideways. Don't grab your friends. And if we're not there yet, that's okay. That's something to learn about yourself. And the goal would be, all right, do I feel okay here? Yes or no? Can I reach while I'm here? Yes or no? Okay, let's figure that out. Why? How about we switch legs and put the other one in front? Now, everyone's going to find they have one leg that feels more secure and one leg that feels less secure. That's a good information to have. Maybe you had a hip replacement, a knee replacement, you fell. One leg's going to be stronger than the other, and that's good information to have. So you know, okay, my left side really isn't as strong. Maybe I shouldn't try really reaching that way until I get a handle on that. So tandem stance is a great way to improve your balance at home. 30 seconds is the goal, each leg. So you do 30 seconds with one leg in front, and then you switch 30 seconds on the other leg in front. Something easy to do in the morning while you're doing your dishes, brushing your teeth, where you're near something secure that doesn't move. Make sense? Everyone gets this? Beautiful. Oh, this is me. If you can do tandem, meaning one foot in front of the other, then the progression for 30 seconds, then the progression would be to one leg. Now, 30-second single leg stance is a great indicator of fall risk. If you are able to maintain this position for 30 seconds, your risk of falling is very low. As your time goes down, the increased risk of falls goes up. So if you're willing, we can try to take one foot off the ground, see how we're doing. And if you want to try the other leg, you can also see how you're doing. And then think to yourself, well, why is one better than the other? That's questions that we can all help you figure out. Now, as you take a seat, I'm going to go into this for a second because I like this part. Balance is, there's 3 different ways that your body is going to compensate that I'm sure some of you felt, right? The first one is your ankle. It's called ankle strategy. Did anyone feel their ankles weeble wobbling around when they were standing up? Ankle strategy is your first line of defense against a fall. When your body is not 100% static stable, different areas of your body will try to compensate. Your ankle is the first job. Now, it's great when it's on a floor. If we could be on a cement floor all the time, it'd be wonderful. But I'm sure some of us like walking on the beach or walking in the woods or even walking, or maybe not. There's a lot of bugs. I'm same. I saw your face. Yeah, same girl. Okay. Ankle strategy is the first part. Now, when it comes to ankle strategy and physical therapy, if anyone has sprained their ankle, has dealt with neuropathy, some of these inputs to that strategy aren't as strong as they used to be. Getting that back is your first line of defense to keep you upright. Now, say your ankle can't do its job or it's not doing it as well. The second stop is your hip. It's called hip strategy. So if my ankle isn't doing it, my hip is going to move so I can stay upright, right? Head up, nice and thick. Ankle, then hip. This can be affected through things like hip replacements, low back pain, flexibility. And that's your second line of defense against a fall. If your ankle doesn't have it, your hips got you. Your last line of defense against a fall is called stepping strategy. So if your ankle doesn't have it and the hip doesn't have it, the last stop is being able to widen that base of support like we did earlier, right? Everyone felt more confident when their legs were further apart. And that's your body's compensation. So before, God forbid you were to fall, your body would go ankle strategy, hip strategy, stepping strategy. Now, how many of you, when you feel like you're going to fall or you feel unsteady, reach for something? Right. Which is fine if it's a wall. Maybe your friend, maybe not. The problem is what if it moves? Like your dog or a rolling chair or a coffee table. If you're so used to, instead of using your body's natural strategies to hold you upright, you go to reach for something one day, you're either going to knock your friend over, knock your dog over, or the table's going to go out from under you, and suddenly we're on the floor and we got a problem. So our goal is to eliminate what's called furniture walking and using things to help you get places and teach your body how to do it instead. Okay? Very important. Single leg stance. Any questions on that? Beautiful. Okay. Moving on. Those two were examples of static balance. Remember, we talked about doing everything here. Unfortunately, we do not live in a static life. We're always moving. This is the beginning of dynamic balance, meaning we move in balance. So everyone remembered that tandem stance we did, right? This is tandem stance while walking. So we would place heel to toe, 1 foot in front of the other. If anyone recognizes this from driving at night, I'm sure you'd be familiar with it. Going forward, I would try it against a hallway or against a long counter in your house, so you have something that's stable that's not going to move. The goal would be about 10 steps, 1 foot in front of the other. And if you really want to get frisky with it, we can go backwards. Okay? And I think it used to be able to play, hey, just like that. So you see how her ankle wiggle wobbled? Ankle strategy. Right there, the first line of defense to keep her upright. I'll show you that one more time. See the ankles going? Mm-hmm. What do you know about that? Any questions about this? Okay. Oh. There we go. That was a dynamic balance. Now we're going on to some strength things. We talked about how important the hips are, the ankles are, all of that. This is a great exercise for you to do to start to strengthen your lower body and help with your balance. Feel free to get back up again. This is a participation trophy class. Now, if you want and you need the security, feel free to use your chair, the chair in front of you. And if you want to challenge yourself, you're more than welcome to not. We are going to work on standing on that one leg and extending our leg backward by squeezing our bum. This is not only strengthening our bum, but it's also strengthening our feet and our ankles and our hips to try and keep us upright. Now, that's what it would look like if we're holding on, and if we're not holding on, we're a little wobbly today. That is what they give you after hip surgery. Yep, very important to keep your hips healthy. We just talked. I love that. We would aim for about 2 to 3 sets of 10 on each leg. And the goal would be to work it up so you can do 10 without putting that leg down, really concentrating on that balance on that top leg. Makes sense? And again, figure out which leg is stronger. Whoop. All right. Hip abduction. Similar, I'm sure you recognize this if you've had hip surgery. This is the same thing, standing on one leg, but we are going to kick out to the side. Exactly. Going sideways is always a little bit more tricky because our body is so used to going forward and back. We walk forward and backward, take the stairs forward and backward. We don't usually go greet our friends sideways, right? This would be awkward. So our body's not as used to moving laterally as we might like it to be. Unfortunately, life doesn't really happen front and back. If a grandkid's going, they're gonna go. So you need to be prepared to be able to move sideways as well, backwards as well. Okay, this is a great way to start that dynamic. Again, we're looking for 10 to 15 repetitions on each leg. And the goal would be to be able to do it with no hands and not touching that foot to the ground. Good on that one? Beautiful. Go. And that's it again. Okay, calf raises. I love these. This toes, exactly. It's very important to keep these muscles healthy because your calves, that's the thing right on the back of the leg, they are what propel you one step to the other. So they're giving you the strength to push off and get to the next step. Now, if they're weak, we can end up dragging our toe. What happens after we drag our toe? Fall, right? So making sure these guys are strong enough to get you safely onto the next step is important. We can try it 2 legs like we do here, which is a great way to start. But then we can try single leg, up and down. And now here, I would suggest holding on to start. We can figure out, okay, what leg is stronger? Why is that leg stronger? Why do I not have balance on this side of my body today? Good. Questions on this? Nope. Beautiful. Sit to stands. I love this exercise. This is a great exercise for your general lower body. Yes, you guys can all sit down because we're going to stand up anyway. A lot of times we're going to find ourselves in places that may not have a grab bar or may have a really low seat, right? And we don't want to not go do an activity because we can't get up from a chair. Now, there's different ways to help yourselves up. by using your hands, other various things. But ideally, you would be able to get up and down from a seat without any assistance and without any worries, right? This is a great way to practice it. So it's literally called sit to stand. I hope everyone can figure that out. Yeah, okay. He's gonna stand up and then sit right back down. Ideally, doing this 10 times would be great. Definitely a secure chair behind you. I'm not sure if it showed the chair was against the wall. Whoopsies. Oh, nope. Okay, ideally the chair would be against the wall, so again, it doesn't move backward on you when you're going. Keeping your hands nice in front of you. As we get stronger, we would limit the time that we're actually sitting down. So we want more time on the muscles, less time resting. So we'd find the chair and then back up nice and smooth, eventually working our way up to the point where we can just tap the chair and come back up. And all the pressure remains on our legs. Make sense? And if we can do that 10 times successfully, we would move on to squats. Starting with a handheld assist, of course, but we're going to mimic the same action, having our hips go backwards, learning how far we can actually sit back without falling over, and making sure our muscles are strong enough to get us up and down. This one's the trickier version. You're more than welcome to try it here. You're more than welcome to try it at home. Ideally, again, we would do 10 to 15 reps, 2 or 3 sets. This can all be done in the comfort of your home or in the gym or with us. I showed you this video, right? Okay. We'll give it one more time. Perfect positioning. Love this. I'm very proud of her. She should know how to do it right. All right. Grapevines. This one, I think, is the ultimate challenge because we talked about which movement's harder, going forward and back or going to the side? Side. A lot of times, ideally, we would keep our feet apart, right? So we don't risk tripping over our own 2 feet, but we don't always have that luxury. Grapevines are a way to learn how to do crossovers safely so you don't end up tripping over yourself. This is another way to do that stepping strategy when it's not always convenient for us, right? We would love to be stepping strategy forward, sideways, backwards. Sometimes we don't have that option. We do need to learn how to do it to the side as well to catch ourselves. So grapevine is a very controlled way to learn how to do lateral movements dynamically. You'd cross 1 foot in front, step to the side, cross 1 foot and back, which is really tricky for a lot of people, and then out to the side again. And you'd repeat this motion as you were going, making sure that we are learning how to put our foot down nice and safely, not tripping over ourselves, making sure our hips have the mobility to do so. And that'll just ensure if a dog's running, if a kid's running and you need to step over yourself suddenly, your body remembers how to do it and how to catch you safely. This is what this one looks like. Happy I did not fall that day. And again, this would be something to do against a hallway or a couch, anything that is secure that doesn't move on you. Make sense? Go one way and then you got to go back the other way. We can't just go left all the time. We got to every direction that we can. Okay, there we go. Oh, and that's Em in the background. We love Em. External perturbations. This is fun. This is single leg stance. We can also do this. What other way could we do this in standing? I'm doing it right now. Sitting. You can do it sitting. Yep. If you want to throw things at each other, be my guest. That's fine. I support it. If we do it in standing, we can do it with 1 foot in front of the other as well. So this is actually the higher level modification. Where'd Katie go? Oh, hi. Katie, you want to come demonstrate this with me? Okay, thank you. So outside perturbations. This is when life happens when you are not expecting it to. When something comes flying at you, whether it be a dog, a kid, I don't know, a bird. I had someone fall because their bird came at them. I don't know. This is a great, we'll do tandem first. I am not on my best today. 1 foot in front of the other. You take something nice and soft to throw at people because we like our friends, right? Yes. And a nice, easy toss back and forth. Now you can see my ankles are working and my hips are working to try to keep me upright. Core is working. I'm not good at this. But if you are, the progression would be what you see here. We would go to 1 foot. Yeah, this is not going to happen today. Yep. I should probably work on my balance. But you can see those correction strategies happening in real time, whether it's the ankle, the hip, or when you're falling, that stepping strategy. In a controlled environment, this is a great activity to do with someone you like or don't like. If you want to throw something else at them, that's fine. Here we go. And they have wonderful balance here. It is easier with a bigger ball and not with a microphone in your hand. Yeah, they have it way too easy. And there, again, you can see that they are on a nice secured surface. Surfaces are the other thing I want to talk to you about when it comes to balance. Balancing on the cement floor is really easy. Balancing on the sand isn't really as easy, right? Because it's a different surface. Same thing with like grass. Making sure that you have a secure place to practice is good. Challenging your surface is good as well. So doing balance exercises in shoes is always easier than doing it barefoot because your shoe has a bigger bottom than your foot does. So it's a wider surface area for you to utilize. Sneakers are a great way to practice. If you want an extra challenge, it would be to do it barefoot. Okay. Single leg cone taps. Who's ever dropped something on the floor and been like, you know what, it can stay there? Yeah, all day, especially today. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Usually you need to pick it back up, especially if it's your phone. So learning how to bend over safely, moving outside that base of support is important while maintaining, right? You can see here how I could easily face plant, right? We don't want to do that, so we want to practice it. Ideally, you'd come over, you can squat down to pick it up, squats, or we can do reaches. Now this is her doing it, I believe, on one foot. Changing hands, so we're learning how to rotate through our spine as well safely. If this is too much of a challenge to start, you can leave your toe down in the back and try to reach down to the floor, one hand and then the other hand, and see how that feels for you. Now, multiple things could get in the way of this. Flexibility, like we talked about, having a tight back, tight hamstrings. Strength, being unable to actually move your body in that direction. All of these play factors when we're doing balance for life goals, right? Okay. Any questions? No on this? No? Okay. One more time, because that's impressive. And you see the ankle going? First line of defense. Love it. I love when it works out like that. All right. That is what I have for balance today. Anyone have any questions? Yes, we'll take them all.
How do you lose your balance, or why do you lose your balance?
That's a wonderful question. So balance starts to deteriorate after the age of 40. Kind of, some people say like 30, 35, but definitely after the age of 40. Like I said, we don't go, oh, I'm getting so much older, I'm getting so much healthier. It just doesn't happen. I wish it did, but we like to maintain. When our eyes start to go, the visual feedback becomes harder. So nighttime driving becomes harder, as well as seeing at night, being able to be aware of your surroundings. Neuropathy, like the signals in your feet, sometimes nerve damage sets in over time. Sciatic, anything like that can affect the input from your feet. So over time, the body, as it regenerates, doesn't come back quite as strong as it used to, and balance is one of the first things affected. Training it over time can help you maintain. That's the goal. Yes, ma'am.
At what point of your life should you start weight training? Because of muscle atrophy.
Because of muscle atrophy, I say you should start.
40?
I honestly recommend weight training after puberty. So for females, usually 13, 14, you can start to get into weights. It's strength and weights are so important for your life. And things that we don't think about, like carrying the groceries in. How many trips do you have to make now when you could have made it earlier? Carrying a laundry basket. Things like that for not only the strength, but the balance to keep you upright to do it. So strength training is something that you can pick up at any point in life. It's never too late. People can get strong up until whenever. But it's something you do have to start and maintain if you want to see progress. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And so if I fall on the floor,
Yeah.
is there any suggestion you would give for that?
I do. That's actually a wonderful idea. There's two different schools of thought on that. I teach my knee patients, we start kneeling fairly soon, and I teach them how to lunge. Because if you find yourself Unfortunately, imagine if this room was empty, right? Right now there's chairs and we have different things that the stage, but imagine it was empty and now you fell. There's nothing here to pull yourself up on. So learning how to do that independently. I had a patient once who was outside for 4 hours because they fell without their cell phone and they were unable to get themselves up because there was nothing around to pull themselves up. So my first line of defense is teaching you how to move your own body to get you upright in case we're in that situation. And that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is there's something around you that you can pull yourself up onto, depending on, again, your level of injury. You'd have to be self-aware to know, like, did I hit my head, X, Y, Z, and if there's anyone around to help. First line of defense always is teaching your body how to do it yourself. If not, you would kind of roll over to either your side or onto a knee. Get yourself a nice, stable base of support, like one leg in front, and utilize your hands to help you get upright. If you cannot pull yourself into a chair or onto something stable, like the stage, a couch. We always look for stability so we don't knock anything over if we're trying to get up. Yes. Oh,
Yes, I fell over and I tried to get myself up. This was at the cemetery, pulling flowers up.
that's tough.
And so I fell on my butt and I couldn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's common.
and I turned around. I tried to use the stone.
Yep, exactly. Using a stable. I know. So that's something strengthening would definitely help with. We can definitely talk after about that.
And I couldn't do my knees either.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why it's very important to learn, especially after any surgery, how to utilize it. Again, I've heard a lot of people don't kneel anymore, which I find is crazy because of situations like that.
Well, you have a knee,
Yes.
2 hips and a knee,
Nice. You're almost at the full set. Go for the other one.
and a battery that I have.
Ah,
So, squats,
squats are great.
for this though, this is good.
The HydroWorks pool that we have, I don't know how to go back in here, but that would be a great candidate for the pool because the pool takes the weight off of your joints. If you immerse yourself to your neck, it's about 90% non-weight bearing. If we're doing squats, we should probably go a little bit lower. I don't want anyone to drown themselves, clearly. But it's a great way to work on that motion without having the weight of your body behind it. So painful knees, painful hips, painful backs, that all mostly gets eliminated in the water while also helping you strengthen. That's a great question. Well, yes.
I'm understanding that a lot of the internal medicine physicians are, as part of their annual assessment, if you do have the fortune to see your primary doctor at least once a year, that they are going to assess for balance now.
That's wonderful. They should have been doing that a long time ago. And they should be making the recommendation for you to go see physical therapy to improve it. A lot of people don't have the knowledge that, like, this is our career. This is what we studied forever. And teaching you guys how to do that and how to age safely is so important. I'm very happy to hear that the physicians are doing it more.
But if you have a, I'm sorry.
Also, I'm a graduate of that,
Hey!
and I just began at the beginning, a few months ago.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I can't tell you the difference it's made.
I love to hear that. Congratulations. Very good.
With a knee
Yes, ma'am.
replacement,
Yeah.
do you recommend kneeling on it? Because
Yeah.
really?
Yep. It can be. You got to work. It's one of those things you got to get in early. Knees are tough, and I tell you, everyone, if you need them, it's the best thing you could ever do. But you got to be ready to work because they do not. It doesn't give you an inch. You got to go take every single inch of that. Yes, ma'am. Very much so. Core is very important because core is the stability for your entire body. In the beginning, I remember we did the reaching sitting, right? That's all your core strength is keeping you upright and being able to bring you back. Leaning forward, that's going to be your core. Everything starts from the center of your body, and learning how to control those muscles there to assist you is the start of any program. None of these exercises would be possible if you had a weak core. Very good question. What else we got? Going once. Going twice. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm Rachel from APR Physical Therapy. Thank you for having me today.